Okay guys, I'm here today with Paul Schreiner, huge honor for me. Guys, Paul just shot an entire instruction all about side control escapes, which he calls the second guard. And the reason he calls that, you fix me if I'm wrong, Paul, is because even though the person passes your guard, you still playing with your hands and arms as if you had your guard set up, right? Can you explain that more, Paul?
Yeah, so we have a primary guard that's primarily focused on our lower body, where we're framing with our legs, or in the case of a closed guard, where we're controlling our opponent with our legs, attacking with our legs. That also incorporates our arms, obviously, but it's lower body dominant. Once someone passes our knee line and they've achieved a side control position, we have a whole second guard. And one more time, it encompasses our whole body. We're just gonna use our legs differently because we don't have framing leverage anymore. But we're going to control our opponent's hands and arms, their posture. We want our opponent to feel controlled, frustrated, and in my opinion, it should be just as hard for them to pass our second guard as it was for them to pass our first guard. So when they start to get frustrated from that second guard and unable to kind of get through towards their submission or make us uncomfortable with their weight, oftentimes they're going to get frustrated, they're going to start to rush, they'll make mistakes that will facilitate our escape. So that's basically the idea of the secondary or the second guard. It's not a guard that you're going to win from. You know, we're not really going to submit our opponent. It's hard to win from the bottom of side control, but we can easily lose from there. Yep. So that's kind of the idea. So if we're here, okay, I'm going to always one way or another pretty much try to control this arm, which is where the majority of my opponent's control or ability to make me uncomfortable is going to come from, and where his attacks are really going to come from. And now we're going to look to make a underhook. So I'm going to bump, creating space as I drop my body down. My hand will knife inside, and I'm going to start to make an underhook, maybe bumping again to go a little deeper. Now we're going to make a high underhook. So I'm trying to pull this head side elbow in and not let his hand escape, but I'm going to try to open his elbow, kind of making a high grip on his shoulder blade or his back here, and we'll use our leg to keep this elbow open. Okay, now you probably don't feel super comfortable to attack me from here, right?
I'm super vulnerable from here.
Yeah, and you can see already how it would be pretty easy for me to escape and start to find a half guard position, for example. Now, we talk a lot about, again, I'm still using my legs. We're bridging, I'm monitoring my opponent's body here to kind of feel those physical cues for what he's doing. I'm supporting my underhook, keeping his elbow open here with my leg. As my opponent starts to close that elbow, again, we can go and use our hip and leg to open. If we lose track of it with this leg and he gets that elbow a little closer, we can even use the other leg to pass it back off. And even if he brings his hand all the way over to block my hip and starts to weight my elbow, I can just start to hip escape and get my knee inside and now start to pass that arm back.
Man, that's amazing.
Okay, and now the last technique that I wanted to show is what happens when we lose this completely. So when my opponent weights this and he gets this hand all the way back to the other side of the body in a way I can't manipulate it, we're gonna hip escape and bring our hand from the inside of his arm to the outside and grab something on the side of his body. So I'm really anchoring my shoulder, using my shoulder as a frame here to block my opponent from driving me flat. I can always move my hip away. Now what I'm going to try to do is climb my hip and drop my knee right behind my opponent's elbow here as I shuck him forward off this grip that I have. And now I can start to attack with the crucifix and come up and start to chase my opponent's back.
So Paul, pretty much like I'm on your side control, supposedly I'm winning, but you're gonna set up your both arms and legs in such a way that sounds almost like under guard again, even though I'm inside the side control. You have so much control from there that...
Yeah, that's right. And also I feel like, especially as I'm getting older, like it keeps jiu-jitsu really interesting, right? It allows you to kind of still explore and have fun when you're on the bottom position and stay safe. And so oftentimes, we talk about jiu-jitsu in terms of position and submission, but I believe there always has to be that third part, which is safety. And when we think about, any position, any movement, any transition we're doing, we have to think about safety first, then positional control, adjustment, advancement, and then submission.
No, and you know, I'm just thinking here, like coincidence, you were a great example of that, because how old are you?
I'm about to be 43.
Yeah, so I remember like 3 years ago at Marcelo's, you were 40, and you used to train for us all the time. And the other person who's really good on defending side control as well, as you were saying, is Fabio Gurgel. And it's the same thing, like he was 40 years old in Sao Paulo, training for all the young world champions. So there's a lot to be said about like, you're getting age, and now you gotta become even more technical than when you were younger, right?
Yeah, and it's not like, you know, I want to still be able to train with all you guys.
Okay.
And, you know, realistically, I'm not going to be a challenge. I'm not going to go out there and win.
But you can just survive.
I can survive,
in a very
and it can
good
be
way.
and it can be we can make it interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about
awesome.
clamming up and not moving, right? I think the more you explore in jiu-jitsu, the more you learn, and so it's just applying the same concepts of guard, but to our second guard.
No, I agree 100%. Yeah, guys, Paul just shot this entire instructional all about side control escapes that he calls the second guard, and it came out really, really cool, and it's going to be at bjjfanatics.com soon, so make sure to check that out, and maybe by the time you're watching, it's already there, so check it out. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please help me out to grow my YouTube channel. Just click subscribe, and to watch more videos, just click under see more videos. I hope you enjoyed.
BJJFanatics.com. Use the promo code YouTubeFaria to get 10% off any instructional video. Improve your jiu-jitsu faster.